We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karne Shruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Bhakshabhirya Jatra Stirairangaihi Stuštubhagam Sastanovihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vrittashrava Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dhadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying Mandukya Upanishad with Shankara Bashyam, the second chapter. And today we are going to start the 32nd Karika. In the entire Upanishadic literature, this Karika number 32 of second chapter is a very, very important mantra. This is the gist of the entire Upanishads. And Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmeva Naparaha. Shankaracharya's favorite statement comes out from this mantra. It is a very important mantra running into 122 slides. And there are several ideas which are given in this mantra. For people who are listening to Bhashyam and Mandukya for the first time, this mantra may appear difficult to absorb, difficult to digest. Because digesting this mantra, understanding this mantra perfectly, requires a prepared mindset. If you don't have the mindset which is required to understand this mantra, you may feel that this mantra is so difficult. Is it possible that this mantra is revealing the truth? You will have all types of questions in your mind. What I would like to suggest to all those listeners is try to go through the entire mantra, the full 122 slides. Don't make any conclusions till you have listened to the full Bhashyam. And while you're listening to the Bhashyam, the major ideas which are discussed in this mantra, try to form your own notes, because that will help you to assimilate the mantra correctly. There are several ideas Shankaracharya gives out in this mantra. And for a seeker, you should first listen to the mantra, the Bhashyam. That is called as Shravana. Then you should try to do Mananam on this mantra. Is it possible what Shankaracharya is telling? Is it the truth? Am I understanding correctly? What are the adjustments I should make in my mind to absorb this mantra? That should be the second step. The third step is, having understood the mantra and having accepted that as the truth, remember this truth in Nididhyasana. Throughout your life, keep this mantra as the central piece of knowledge. Very, very important mantra, because Gaudapada Acharya makes a very, very bold statement. A bold statement. Scientists will not agree with this. Other schools of philosophers, they don't agree with this. But Shankaracharya says, this is the truth. You have to change your mindset to accept this truth. Because we all have got a certain mindset with which we are born. We have our own assumptions based on previous births. And we have been continuing with those ideas, with those vasanas. This chapter 2, and especially Karika number 32, is the central verse of this chapter and the central verse of the whole Upanishad, the entire 4 chapters. Shankaracharya quotes this mantra so many times in his other bhashyams. With this short introduction, let's go to the mantra, the Karika number 32.
न निरोधो न च उत्पत्तिः न निरोधो न च उत्पत्तिः न बध्यो न च साधकः न बध्यो न च साधकः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्तः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्तः इत्येषा परमार्थता इत्येषा परमार्थता.
First, I'll give you the gist of what the mantra meaning is. Today, in our meditation session, we are going to meditate on this mantra because it's so important. Maybe this week and next week also, I will like to try to meditate on the meaning of this mantra. There is no birth, there is no death. From the higher nature, suppose I'm able to stand on Turiyam Brahma. From that viewpoint, I can state that there is no birth or death. Number one, there is nobody in bondage and nobody gets the freedom. Nobody gets liberated. This is the supreme truth. All along, we have been saying moksha is a goal. In this mantra, Gaudapada Acharya says, there is no mumukshu, there is nobody who is, no jiva who is bound. Why does he say this? According to Vedanta, all of us are free all the time. This is my nature. I have a notion in my mind, I was born, I will not be there, this world is real, this world is existent. All these ideas are their wrong notions according to Gaudapada Acharya. If I understand the truth correctly, this message will be clear in my mind. Let us see now how Shankaracharya explains this mantra in about 122 slides. So we'll have 4 sessions. For this one mantra. a dreamer's angle, Swapna is real. From the waker's angle, waking state is real. From the waker's angle, Swapna is unreal. From the dreamer's angle, waker is unreal. And both of them are unreal from the sleeper standpoint. The sleeper doesn't know anything of this waker or dreamer. You have to go one level from the waker to the Turiya. What the Upanishad says, in the Turiyam level, there is only Turiyam. There is only consciousness. There is nothing else. Dreamer's and dream universe is valid. Waker's universe is not existent in the dream. It is invalid in dream. Waker's angle, waking universe is real. It is valid. Dream is not there in the waking state. In the super waker's angle, which is Paramatma's angle, Ishvara's angle, Turiyam is valid. I alone exist. Waking and dream is non-existent and it is invalid. So we have to look at the shloka from a super waker jnani. Suppose you say, I have been studying Mandukya Upanishad and I have understood Mandukya Upanishad. If you have understood the Mandukya Upanishad correctly, you will also state this in your own mind. You may not express it to everybody else because you are standing in Adhishtanam Turiyam Brahma. That Turiyam Brahma exists independently. Pure I. From that I, there is no seeker, there is no person who gets moksha. What is the nature of that Turiya Atma, which is my real self? It is always free. It is independent. At the seeker's level, there is Adhyavaropa Drishti. There is Srishti, there is Utpatti, there is Layam, there is Sthitihi. These are all taught at the junior level till a person comes to Mahavakya. The moment Mahavakyam is taught to a student, he will say, this Jivatma is Paramatma. But you have to understand clearly the Mahavakyam. Paramatma is super waker. He is always awake. He never goes to sleep. A jnani, as Turiya Atma, never sleeps because he knows that the world is manifest, the world goes into unmanifest. Now, this is the gist of the shloka. Now starts Shankaracharya's commentary. In this first paragraph, Shankaracharya talks about the disciplines of moksha. The desire for moksha is in a jiva because he is an ajnani. But for a jnani, there is no creation or dissolution. Therefore, there cannot be any bondage or liberation. That is his explanation in the first paragraph. So this mantra should be understood as a jnani's statement after he has understood completely the Upanishad. Na nirodha. Na nirodha means there is no cessation of the entire universe. Pralayam is also not there for a jnana. There is no utpatti, origination. There is no pralaya. Because Atma alone is. That is Satyam. In that Atma, the nature of that Atma is, it doesn't permit any second object. It is the subject, pure subject. The nature of that Atma is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Brilliant light of consciousness in which there is not an iota of matter. From that standpoint, na baddhaha, na sadhaka. There is no samsari jiva, there is no moksha for a jiva. Because he has understood he is ever liberated. What is the nature of the Atma? It is ever free. So when you have claimed that Atma, you can easily say, I am that Atma which is always free. It is changeless and it is free. What about the body, mind, world, which is anatma, always changing, continuously changing? Mind is changing, nobody will doubt that. Morning to evening, you try to see how many thoughts you entertain during the whole day. So there is change in the mind. Body. The cells in the body are changing, continuously changing. What about the world of Panchabhutas? Constantly changing. The wind comes, the earth is moving, the planets are moving. The whole Prakriti is always in motion. Anatma is changing. Atma is changeless. So the mumukshu has known the changeless Atma. This changeless nature of Atma must be sunk in your subconscious mind. I am that Atma. I am the changeless. When the dreamer becomes the waker, the dream universe disappears. When the waker becomes the super waker, Atma, pure Chaitanyam, the waking universe does not disappear, but it continues to be experienced. This is the difference between waking up from dream and waking up to your super waker status. Why does the waker's universe does not disappear? Because the body has got some prarabdha karma, it will enjoy the prarabdha karma, it will perform actions, it will have sukham and dukkha. The body will not be there after some time. One body disappears from the world. Jnani says, mastani sarva bhutani, nacha mastani bhutani. Apply these two verses of Bhagavad Gita for this verse. I told you many times, this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Shankaracharya quotes these two verses at least 20 times in Mandukya, in his analysis. Waker's world I alone see. Mastani sarva bhutani. All the beings are in me because I am the seer of the world. I am the observer of the world. I am the knower of the world. I am the conscious knower of the world. Nachamastani bhutani. I have the facility to drop the waker's universe and remain as Turiya Atma because I have Brahma Vidya. The only proof that Atma alone exists is from the Shruti. You cannot infer Atma. It is not seen. Pratyaksha and Anumanam cannot be used for Atma because it is the subject. It is the spiritual content. Pratyaksham and Anumanam will work in the field of Anatma. Shruti is the only proof for the existence of Atma and for the mithya nature of Anatma. Shankaracharya will quote 9 quotations from the Shruti. One by one, you will enjoy that portion and you will say that, oh my goodness, this is what all the Upanishads are stating. This is the central message of all the Upanishads, which is given in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, 4 and 5. Meditate on this verse, remember this verse, do mananam on this verse, you will grow in spirituality in leaps and bounds. You will start understanding the gist of the Upanishads. So I experience the world, but it is as good as non-existent because it is an appearance. Dream is an appearance. Everybody will say yes. Waking is an appearance. People will doubt. Because we are in the waking state and trying to understand it from waker's standpoint. Upanishad says, don't make that mistake. Upanishad is revealing a higher nature. Understand you are Turiyam Brahman. You are, I am, when you tell yourself, you should tell, I am Turiyam Brahma, which is revealed by the Shruti. For understanding myself and for understanding the universe, I will use the Shruti as the primary pramanam. I will not use science, I will not use logic, tarka, because science and logic do not have access to Atma. They have access only to Anatma. A pramanam has a limited access into its own field. Eyes can see form and color. They cannot hear the sound. The ears can hear the sound. They cannot see the form and color. The tongue can taste, but it cannot hear. This is the creation which we are used to. I am trying to understand the creation. I am trying to change my attitude of this creation. Prapancha abhave kaimudikam nyaya. That means what Upanishad says is, there is no micro or macro prapancha because they are only an appearance. Throughout this 30-second mantra, one idea you should keep in your mind all the time. My whole waking state experience is exactly like the dream experience. It will come, it will go. It will come, it will go. But if this is mithya, if it is an appearance like the rope snake which appears in my mind, like the shell silver, like the mirage water, they are all mithya. So waking state is also mithya. Mithya is presented in 2 ways in the scripture. Number 1, mithya is experientially existent. It does not have its own existence, but it borrows existence. Where does the Mithya world borrow the existence from? It borrows it from Turiya Atma. Mithya is factually non-existent. You see, in the first method, we say it is existent. In the second method, second way of expressing mithya is factually non-existent. The world borrows existence from Turiya Atma, but Turiya Atma can remain independently without the world. That is why we say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. World is Mithya because it borrows existence. I am Satyam because I exist independently without the world. I always give the example of the sleep state where there is no world, there is no body, but I still exist. What is my nature of existence when I am asleep? It is this Atma. So all error is because of Adhyasa. Adhyasa, Bhashyam, we have done before. Try to use that Adhyasa idea in this mantra. There is nobody who is ever bound. When we say that, it is because you have transcended the mind. It's only through the mind I experience the world, I experience my body. Whereas Atma is beyond the mind. Turiyam exists, it can be realized as the self, therefore moksha is possible. See, the whole Vedanta runs into 1,000 Upanishads. All those Upanishads are valid only because what they teach is the truth. Once you come into the Veda, you will start seeing the content of the Veda. So this shloka is a profound shloka. It is called as a number lock shloka. If you put the number lock correctly, you can open up the entire Vedanta. The entire understanding of Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is understood when this mantra is understood. The process of opening the lock, putting on the number, is called as Adhyaropa Pavada. These are two terms I have used many times. If you don't understand these two terms, you can put a question in the chat box. I will explain. But if I don't do the Adhyaropa Pavada, the number lock is not put in, and I will not be able to see the truth which is explained in the mantras. All these Vedantic ideas must be simultaneously remembered. What are the two things which we primarily must be remembered? I am Satyam. I, the Atma, am Satyam. If this is understood, then the rest of the things, Jagan Mithya, is something which easily comes about. Both these are in the same coin. Brahma Satyam, I am Satyam, and Anatma is Mithya. They are two sides of the same coin. Now, Shankaracharya says, how does the Veda say there is no universe at all? I am experiencing the macro universe. What Veda says is, there are no opposites in the universe from the Turiya standpoint. Factually, the world is not there. Experientially, it is available. Exactly like dream. I experience dream. All of us, we experience dream. Factually, it is not there. Again and again, Shankaracharya drives home this particular point. He says, factually, the waking state is not there, non existent, like the rabbit's horn, like so many things in the world. Sky flowers. It is like a magic show. Magic show exists for a short time. It goes away when I, the Atma, know my real nature. Now, this is the Shloka Vyakhyanam, this from Shankaracharya. So the Turiya Atma does not have any distinction in it. No Sajatiya Bheda, Vijatiya Bheda, and Swagata Bheda. These are Sanskrit terms. What it means is, it doesn't have, it is one consciousness without any division. What is the proof to arrive at this conclusion that world is mithya? It is an appearance. Factually, it is not there. Factually, if it is not there, will I worry about anything in life? It is an experience. I went through this experience because my mind is awake to this world. Again, the mind goes to sleep. Again, I wake up. So, if I accept this is the truth of the world, what is the pramanam? Kim pramanam asti? What is the proof for this? Shankaracharya says, Vedanta Vakyam is the praman. The six conventional instruments of knowledge, pratyaksha, anumana, upamanam, arthapatti, anupalabdhi, Veda Purva Bhaga Shabda. All these pramanams cannot be used for Atma. All these are available only for an Atma. Swarga exists. Veda Purva Bhaga says there is a Swarga. Swarga is also an Atma. Many rituals are performed to reach that Swarga. Nachiketa ritual is performed to reach Swarga, Kathopanishad. But these pramanams, my eyes cannot see Atma, my ears cannot hear that Atma, I cannot infer that Atma because for the inference I need a clue. And the clue is only given by Pratyaksha. So Anumanam inference cannot be used. And if Anumanam cannot be used, the other pramanams, the other logical pramanams, sources of knowledge cannot be used. So I cannot use logic. They don't have access to this reality. I cannot use my indriyams. I cannot use my mind to know Atma because mind is a product of Atma. Paurusheya Upanishad Shabda Pramanam must be used to prove mithyatva nature of anatma. See, these are all clear analysis by Shankaracharya. What he is saying is, I am using Shruti. Shruti is telling that the world is an appearance. It is a mithya. Mithya means it appears, it has EDU, experienceability, transactability, utility. All these are real. For example, even in the waking state or the dream state, it is experienceable. One can do transactions, one can earn money, put in the bank, but ultimately it can be used in the waking state, but it cannot be said to be factually there with reference to Atma, my real nature. That is the first paragraph which Shankaracharya writes. This is the derived meaning. Now comes the central gist of Shankaracharya's real argument and how he presents this so beautifully. Once you go through this style of learning the Upanishads, you will never forget the truth. 9 quotations are given by Shankaracharya. 1, 2, 3, 4, again and again. Nowhere in any other literature of the Upanishads you will find this type of analysis like he has done for Mandukya Upanishad. Because if you say Shankaracharya's whole life is based on one sentence, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaivana Paraha, this is the central area where you have to study. In this paragraph 361, he is asking the question, how can there be absence of creation and dissolution of the universe? Is it really possible? Is pralayam really possible? If Atma alone is there, the universe has to be mithya. All the Shrutis are stating this knowledge. All the seekers, please make a note of these 9 quotations. Try to study these 9 quotations. If you study these 9 quotations correctly, thoroughly, you will accept the truth that the world is an appearance, but there is no factual existence. Therefore, I am ever free. By proving the world is mithya, I automatically claim I am Atma, the substratum on which a mithya always depends. Rope snake, I call it mithya because rope is the adhisthana. Dream, I call it as mithya because waking state is the adhishthanam for dream world. Waking state is mithya because turiyam atma is the adhisthana. If this is understood, then you come down to the Shruti. The first Shruti statement is from Brihadaranyaka. I always said Shankaracharya's favorite Upanishad is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In every Bhashyam, he will use Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and he will bring out the truth again and again and repeat it. Suppose you study Kathopanishad, 2nd chapter, verse number 18 to 23, 25. 7 beautiful mantras of Kathopanishad, revealing the same truth. There also in Shankara Bashyam, you will find he has used. See, Shankaracharya's style of writing the Bashyam is he will use tarka, he will use the logic to support the Shruti. That is the style of Shankaracharya. Whereas all other philosophers, they will use logic as the primary pramanam and then they will try to interpret the Shastra. This is the difference between all other schools and Vedanta. In the state of ignorance, there is a seeming duality. Dvaitam eva bhavati. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, second chapter, fourth mantra. I'm going to give you all the mantras in the following slides. I'm just giving you the summary of this portion of the Bhashya. This is a very, very important portion of the Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. Amongst all Bhashyam, this particular portion is very, very important because it brings out the truth, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. The second quotation he gives is Kathopanishad, Ya iha nana eva pashyati. I'm going to give you all the mantras, just a summary. Kathopanishad, the second chapter, first chapter, the first section, 10th mantra, and the 11th mantra. Then another Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantra is given. Then he quotes Chandogya Upanishad. Atma alone appears as this universe because Atma alone existed before creation of the universe. See, the Father alone appears as the Son. Father alone existed before the Son was born. The mother alone exists before the daughter is born. So you see an image of the daughter, of the son, in the of the father and mother in the son. Similarly, Atma alone existed. You see that image in the creation when creation is observed, because the creation's existence factor comes from that Atma. Creation's appearance, the consciousness, the awareness principle in the creation is based on that Atma. Therefore, Brahman alone appears as the universe. Brahma eva idam sarva. Nrsimha Uttara Upanishad, the seventh mantra. Only one without a second. The next one. Ekam eva advaitam. Chandogya Upanishad. Idam sarvam yadayam atma. The whole universe is nothing but Atma. Everything in the universe is Atma, because from this Atma alone the world is born, it rests, it merges back. This is the way to understand an Upanishad. If you listen to this Upanishad in this style of Shankaracharya's commentary, you do mananam on these mantras, there is no doubt anybody listening to this talk anytime will find the truth revealed to him or her, and that is the benefit of this study. It's a very, very beautiful section of Mandukya Upanishad which we are studying now. Kathamuchyate, how Gaudapada ascertains that there is no creation or dissolution. Dvaitasva abhavat satvat vakyam of Upanishad is the proof. There is no Dvaitam in the world. That is what all these mantras are quoting. No Dvaitam ever. Dvaitam is available for an appearance like the dream world Dvaita. In the dream world, there is a pramata, pramanam, prameyam. Tripudi is there in dream. The same tripudi is there in waking also. So Ajati Vada is the theory of Vedanta. Ajati Vada is also called as Mithya Vada. There is no origin, but there is only appearance. Origination and dissolution we accept if there is existence of the world. Advaitam negates the existence of the world by using the word mithya. What Upanishad says is during the height of ignorance, the waking or dream is a seeming dvaitam. Seeming dvaitam. Dvaitam eva asti. Seemingly, dvaitam is there. Like dvaitam in the dream world. In the dream also, I am the experiencer. I experience so many objects in the dream. In the waking also, I am the waker. But only thing difference is the waking world objects are made up of panchabhutas, gross five elements. Whereas the dream universe is made of subtle panchabhutas. It is all projection of the mind, Jiva's mind. Whereas the waking world is Ishvara's mind. I am only a small participant in that mega mind of Ishvara. So seemingly means it is really not there. It is experientially available. The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the 16th verse, very difficult for people to understand when they are beginning to study the Veda, the Bhagavad Gita. Asato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayoropi drishtontaha, tvanyotattvadarshibhihi. Who is a wise man? A wise man, this is a definition of a wise man. The unreal world has no being, it has no existence. There is no satyatvam in the unreal world, whether it is waking world or dream world. There is no non-being of the real Turiya Vastu. Turiya Vastu is ever there. Changelessly, it is always there. So I, the consciousness, without the world, I am always there. That is my real Swarupa. World is something which is coming and going. It is an unreal world. It has no beingness. I am a spiritual being is the truth. World is a mithya vastu. There is no satyatvam in the world. Aham satyam jagan mithya is the conclusion of all the jnanis. What are the verses in the Upanishads which prove world is mithya? The very first verse is Kaivalya Upanishad. We have done this Upanishad before. Na bhumi rapo na chavanni rasti na chanilo mesti na chambaram cha evam viditva paramatma rupam guhashayam nishkalamattvati tiyam. Advitiyam is the truth. Samasta sakshim sadasin vionam prayati shuddham paramatma rupam. Samasta sakshi, always sakshi, that pure consciousness is the truth. The world of panchabhutas is witnessed, but it is not the intrinsic nature of Paramatma. Whenever we discuss the world, we must use the word Paramatma because Paramatma is the originator, sustainer, and resolver of the world at large. Our waking state, dream state, sleep state is all governed by Paramatma. Brahmanic Upanishad, Maitreyi Brahmanam. This mantra says, when there is duality, one can use the sense organs and one can feel the world. But the moment one comes to know there is a Brahman in which the whole world resolves, in that Brahman, what can one hear? What can one see? What should one speak? What should one think? Because everything is resolved. That is the nature of Brahman. Brahmanic Kathopanishad. यदे बेह तत् अमुत्रा यदमुत्रा तदान्यः मृत्यो स मृत्युमाप्नोति य इव नानेव पश्यति. Whatever is here is there, and whatever is there is here. Therefore, Brahman is the truth. Brahman is the substratum for the world. Whoever sees the difference between Brahman and the world, he will go from death to death because he will see differences. Dvaitam means you are again and again born, seen, world, experienced, and so on. But who sees Advaitam? Manasaive Manasaivedam Aptavyam Neha Nanasti Kinchana. This is a very, very important mantra of Kathopanishad. Neha Nana Asti Kinchana. This is the central mantra. I am quoting so many mantras. Shankaracharya is quoting, but the central mantra which Shankaracharya says, which says that world is mithya, is this Kathopanishad mantra, which says that that in this world there is nothing except Brahman. Ignorant person sees Dvaitam. All of us we see that, but ignorance sees it as real Dvaitam. What is it? It is seeming. It is not real, it is seeming. Therefore, we use eva. In Sanskrit, we use the eva to say it is seeming. Dvaitam eva pashyati. Next is Chandogya Upanishad. There, like Mandukya Upanishad, also the same mantra comes there. In Chandogya, it says, the self is above, the self is below, the self is behind me, the self is in the right. That means what? Everything is the self only. If everything is the self, then what is the world? World is mithya. That is Chandogya Upanishad. Brahmaiva idam sarvam, Atmaiva idam sarvam. The waker alone appears as the dream universe. The Turiya alone appears as the waking universe. Whenever we are trying to understand any mantra or any idea in Vedanta, we must use three pramanams: Shruti pramanam, Yukti pramanam, Anubhava pramanam. Shruti pramanam is given in Avantara Vakyam, Mahavakyam. Mahavakyam is a direct meaning of Jiva is Paramatma. Paramatma is the same Jivatma. Because mind, all of us have a mind. In that mind, Paramatma is reflecting. Without Paramatma's reflection, the mind cannot exist. Paramatma is the enlivening factor of all our minds. Second, in this Shruti, we try to understand Adhyaropa Pavada. All the statements which talk about Adhya, like in Mandukya Upanishad, we have seen the first three: waking state, dream state, sleep state. That is the Adhyaropa portion. Verse number 3, 4, 5, and 6. The Apavada portion is in the 7th mantra of the Upanishad. Na anta pranyam, na apahish pranyam, that mantra. So that is what is called as Shruti, Shravanam and Shruti. You listen to the scriptures and you say, I accept what the Veda says. Yukti is Shastric logic. Then what is the meaning of Shastric logic? Normally, Tarka people will give a praman, will give Yukti, the logic, as the primary praman. Whereas Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, will use logic, but it will use it with the Shastric mantras. The last pramanam to use is our own experience. What is my own experience of the three states? Do I experience myself as independently existing during the sleep state without any body, mind, world, panchabhutas? Nothing is there except I, the pure consciousness. Jagrat Swapna proves the manifest nature of that consciousness, and the sleep state proves the unmanifest nature of that consciousness. World of Panchabhutas is Maya Shakti, which belongs to Ishvara. Beyond this manifest and unmanifest lies the Adhishtanam, which is called as Turiyam. It is Adhishtanam for what? It is the Adhishtanam for the Mithya Prapancha appearance. Like a rope snake appearance, waking state appears, dream state appears in my mind. Mind, without the mind, there is no world. What is in front of me always is Brahman, Turiyam. No need to wait and go to the Samadhi avastha of the yogis. Modern science, it concludes that the entire pluralistic universe is a bunch of atoms in motion. Atomic physics. It is energy in motion. Now, both these constitute an illusion of solidity of the world. A solid mountain or a wall or ocean is nothing but atoms and just a bunch of atoms in motion. Or intangible energy. The solidity is nothing but it is an illusion according to science. Intangible, invisible energy appears as though tangible universe. Their universe is nothing but it is made of 5 elements. But what is the main factor between universe and me? What is the main difference? Universe is jadam, inert. Universe does not know itself. There are so many galaxies and planets and so on. Those planets, they don't know unless there is a jiva. 90% of an atom is empty space. All atoms are joined and ultimately we experience the cosmos. What does Vedanta say? Vedanta says that there has to be a sentient observer of the inert world. Vedanta also says that the world is mithya. So, when Vedanta has got its own logic to prove the world and disprove the world. It says that world is not a factual reality, it is mithya like a dream. Mithya appears for each one of us, looks like no creation at all. Ultimately, it appears as if there's no creation. God alone is, Turiyam alone is the ultimate message of all the Upanishads. Therefore, we make a statement, Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. This Jiva, this individuality, which we all experience, is nothing but that consciousness alone. Atmaiva Sarvam Chandogya Upanishad. This is the mantra. I have given you the gist of the mantra. I'm just giving, for those of you who want to study these mantras, you can go to this meaning of these mantras. You'll get a slightly better picture of what Shankaracharya means. And why does he use this? All these mantras are only proving that world is mithya. Observed world is mithya. Observers is a sentient principle. Observer is a Sachidananda Atma, Turiya Atma. There is no world without Turiya Atma. Turiya Atma can exist independently, but the world of Panchabhutas is dependently existent on the Turiya Atma. The same Turiya Atma is called as Bhuma in Sanat Kumara Narada Samvada in Chandogya Upanishad. We have done one mantra in meditation of Bhuma Vidya. There is a quotation which is given in Narsimha Uttara Tapani Upanishad, verse number 7. We are not able to find the quotation. Sometimes we don't get the quotation because some of these Upanishads are not available. Then the Chandogya Upanishad, which was quoted before, is Sadeva Saumya Idamagre Asi. Before the manifestation, Turiya Atma alone was there. Brahman alone was there. Ekam eva advitiyam Brahma asti. That Brahman alone became the universe. That universe again goes back to Brahman. Ultimately, by knowing that one Brahman, I know the entire universe. These are all the mantra quotations. So whoever sees a difference between him and the world will never know the truth. That's what this particular mantra says, Pradhanika Upanishad. Idam sarvam yadayam atma. All this entire universe is nothing but Atma. Unbelievably, this is true. Like there are so many things which are happening in the world, but we don't have answers to why they happen, how they happen, but it is true. So similarly, Vedanta also brings out the truth of the world as mithya appearance, like a magic show, and that is a fact according to the Veda. Mandukya Upanishad quotation is here, the second chapter. We have also done the Mandukya Upanishad before. It gives the description of Brahman, which is without inside or outside. See, in consciousness, there is no inside outside. Isn't that your experience in sleep state? Are you inside the body, outside the body? Nothing. You don't know anything. That is the nature of Brahman. That is the nature of transcendental nature of Brahman. It is beyond the body. Through all these Shruti quotations, Vaitatyam is the central message. Vaitatyam means falsity, mithyatvam. World has got two conditions. Manifest condition in Jagrat and Swapna. Unmanifest condition in the sleep state. The sleep state is called as avidya at the individual level. At the samashti level, total level, it is called as Maya Shakti. This is again experienced. We experience the total resolution of the world in our sleep state. That sleep state at my level is called as avidya. In that total level also it exists. It is called as Maya Shakti. From the Mandukya Upanishad, the sixth mantra, fifth mantra says, from that ignorant state alone, this waking and dream is born. Just a revision, what we studied at the beginning of Mandukya Upanishad. The next paragraph explains that the world is non-existent like the horn of a rabbit or like the flower in the sky. Does the flower ever exist in a sky? Never. So similarly, what Shankaracharya says is the world is non-existent. He doesn't say non-appearance. He says non-existent. If it is non-existent, therefore the world doesn't have a birth or a death. Therefore, we say it is Advaitam. Dvaitasya bhavat is what is being explained in this portion of the commentary. We can't talk of origination of a non-existent thing, like rabbit's horn, like the flower in the sky. We could talk about origination because it is just an imagination. Why can't existent Atma originate? Because Atma is already existent. If it is already existent, there is no need for it to originate. Therefore, we say Advaita Atma is Nityaha. Nitya means it is ever there. Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 20th verse, the very famous verse which comes in Kathopanishad also, Najayate mriyate va kadache, nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha, jo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha, na hanyate hanyamane sharire. What does this verse actually mean? It is referring to Turiya Atma. The Jiva in the battlefield, Arjuna is seeing all bodies. Therefore, he is saying that these bodies will be dying and I will be the killer and they will be killed. But what is the truth? All the Jivas are nothing but pure Turiya Atma. This is the battlefield is only an appearance. It comes and goes. The Jiva never has a birth or a death because he is Turiyam by nature. Okay, that is this is what is conveyed by Shankaracharya. Suppose we say the world is not there, but then how do you account for its experience? Shankaracharya says, exactly like dream. A non-existent dream world is experienced. Similarly, non-existent waking world is experienced. Experience is possible because it is a projection, either of a Jiva's mind, or of Ishvara's mind. The dream world is a projection of the Jiva's mind. It is superimposed on the waker. The waker is superimposed on the waking world is a projection of Ishvara. Therefore, Ishvara is the karma phaladata. You can link up all the experiences which I have is nothing but my own karma phalam trying to express as this life. Therefore, aham satyam jagan mithya is repeated again and again by Shankaracharya. You have to remember these ideas again and again. That's why I said at the beginning of today's talk, some important ideas which strike you, one or 2 points, you can write down, try to recollect it again and again. Whenever you're studying, whenever you want to know, whenever you want to revise this. I will stop here for today's session. For meditation, we are going to study the same verse. So I'll spend an extra 5 minutes in the meditation because it's a slightly long uh, explanation. So uh, with this particular mantra, this 360p, we will start next week. Oh, Namada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, there are a couple of points in the chat box. I will go through that first. Dheeraj is asking, is Nirvana Shatkam also inspired from this shloka? Yes, it is. Very, very beautiful shloka of Nirvana Shatkam. So, you're right. Nandu Desai is quoting 1624. Tasma Shastram Pramanam. Always the Shastra is the Pramanam for Turiya Atma. Absolutely right, Nandu. It is this Atma we are learning, we are studying today. We are fortunate to study this mantra with Shankaracharya's Bhashyam, very profound Bhashyam. Anybody else has a question? Shanmugam will unmute all of you so that if you have a question, you can raise your hand or just unmute yourself and you can ask. Yeah, Deepak, go ahead.
Shekharji, you mentioned that the ego I, is the substratum of the three states. Did I hear it right?
No.
No,
It's not right.
no, not right.
Ego,
Ego,
the Turiam is the substratum for the ego.
substratum, ego, yes. So all the three states,
They belong to the ego.
they belong to the ego, and the I, that ego, is Turiam is the substratum of that I, ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say that, what I've understood is that, and this is something I keep on sort of understanding, and then again sort of the mind sort of doesn't grasp it. So again, I'm trying to get clarity. The manifested state of Turiam is the I, the waker, and the unmanifested state of this waker resides in deep sleep in Turiam. So to that extent, uh, but the when the I, the waker, realizes that the dream is only a mithya, that is an easy understanding because you can negate that very well. As you sort of get up, you understand, oh, that was just a dream, and therefore it is obviously illusionary. And I, the ego, has a much more solid ground on which sort of to say, yes, this is, and therefore I can understand. But when you have to negate, you can't. How do you negate the waker in relationship to Turiam, except for a very dialectic kind of a logical understanding and explaining, okay, there is a substratum, and therefore it is merely an appearance. And it actually never was there because it was only an imagination. What is the absolute reality is the Turiam, etc. So that part I've understood, but the process of this negation that happens much easily when you are from the waker and the dream state. I'm finding it very difficult when I'm even meditating to do it. So I've understood that, okay, I'm deep sleep. I'm in an unmanifested state. I'm in Turiam now. And I'm completely blank. Mind is shut, senses are shut. I have there's no awareness. I'm dead to the world. Absolute darkness. I'm in Turiam. Now I have got up. I get up in the morning. I open my eyes. And now I am Deepak. So what does it mean? I'm just trying to understand.
Good.
How?
Yeah, I have understood the question. There are two problems in your analysis. First problem is you're combining Atma and Anatma. Ego is Anatma.
Yes.
Ego is Anatma. It is a mixture of that Atma and the mind. That is the ego. Whereas Sakshi is pure Atma, which is pure consciousness, pure awareness, Turiya. I can call it Sakshi, I can call it Turiyam, I can call it Brahman, I can call it Purushaha, I can call different names. But when I try to realize that, so the first step which you have to do is to understand I am the Turiyam, I am independently existent. First step of understanding Vedanta, I, the Turiya Atma, I am independently existent all the time. It is during time and also when there is no experience of time in sleep. You see, sleep, you take it as a separate state. Don't mix up sleep state with you. What we have to say is, I am always consciousness. In that consciousness, the waking state is coming, the dream state is coming, the sleep state is coming. You're using the waking state and dream state. That is a correct way to understand initially. As a first step, your understanding is, okay, dream is false. But how do I negate the waking state? The waking state is false. You can only negate when you say, I take the help of the Shruti. I take the help of the Upanishad. Upanishad is saying that the waker is false, dreamer is false, the sleeper is false. The first, the third mantra, fourth mantra, fifth mantra, sixth mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. It is first said, waking state is there, dream state is there. It is the Adhyaropa state. It is the beginning for a junior student. When you come to the definition of Turiyam, it negates the waking state. In my mind, I have to do these two processes for some time. Then only you will reach the real nature of, you will understand the nature of Turiyam. What you lack is the understanding of that the waking state is mithya, not because I don't experience it. I am experiencing it. In spite of the experience, I have to negate it as false projection. This
because
is
of Shruti.
It is only because of the Shruti, only because of the Veda.
But without that, I'm unable to do.
Without that, you cannot do it. You cannot in your own mind say the world doesn't exist. You can never do that. You have to say the Veda says that I am Sakshi and whatever I'm experiencing, it can be dream, it can be sleep, it can be waking. All these three put together is called as the ego. Deepak is a name for that ego, that mind which is woken up and it is seeing this body and it is seeing the world. That is what is Deepak. But Deepak is now trying to understand, I am not the body and mind, but Deepak is trying to say, I am the consciousness in which the mind is waking up every day. I create a distance between that Deepak which always was ignorant, it was always ignorant about his real nature. Suddenly, Deepak has understood, he has come to Mandukya Upanishad, and suddenly he is trying to understand what is this awareness all about. So the Deepak, the ego, understands I am not the ego, I am the pure consciousness. Till that happens, you will keep wandering in the world as if you are still an ignorant person. But the Shruti is what you have to take the help. Without the Shruti, you can never negate the world. The Shruti, that is why Shruti is called as a Pramanam. Like for the eyes, for the form and color, for the sound, I use my ears. To know Atma, I have to use the Shruti. I cannot use my eyes, ears, mind. Na tatra chakshur gachati, na vag gachati, Keno Upanishad. The ears cannot reach Atma. The mind, yatho vacho nivartante. The words cannot reach Atma. It can never reveal Atma. What reveals Atma is this mantra of 32nd mantra or the 7th mantra of the Upanishad, which says Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam is my real nature.
That's
Good.
very well said. That's very
Thank
well
you.
said.
You have understood. I can see.
I've understood. I'll now have to exactly what you
Absorb it.
said at the end.
Assimilate,
My
absorb.
real nature is something that I have to sort of.
Yes.
And I've understood that the
Correct.
three states are in Turiam. So mind
Yes.
wakes up and mind goes in dream
That's
state.
correct.
I'm independent existence, and that I need to hold on to it.
Hold
And
on to that awareness.
awareness. I'm the
And
chit, I'm the awareness.
no more the Deepak with the body and mind. I am the Deepak which is pure awareness. That is the change. That is the transformation when you come to the class. When you come and understand this 32nd mantra, it's a brilliant mantra. It says that there is no world. The world is an appearance. That's all. This is the proof. This mantra is the proof that world is mithya.
So basically, it now even removes what we did in Nididhyasana Viveka, where it said the mind is an object.
That's correct.
It is not even that object.
It is not an object. Yeah. Mind is only an object for the consciousness, but the mind comes and goes.
Yeah. But the Shruti says that, and what we are trying now to saying that does not exist.
Correct.
It's merely an imagination.
Yes, it is an
That's what it's saying. Now we have come to that state.
That's correct. You see, now, whenever you study this mantra, you have become a senior seeker. You are now understanding and you are trying to stand on consciousness. You're trying to stand on that awareness.
I know. And those are baby steps now. We have to.
Those are baby steps. Those are all very, very small initial steps. But now you're trying to say, I am, like Dheeraj was saying, Nirvana Shatkam. Now, this mantra is exactly Nirvana Shatkam. The whole verses of Nirvana Shatkam should come to your mind. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I'm not any of the emotions which come. Deepak has got emotions, but that will continue because he is still living in the world. But he knows that Deepak, which has got emotions, he will now say, it is my mind which has got the emotions. I am the Turiya. Good, Deepak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ramchandra, you have a question?
Namaste, sir.
Yeah, namaste.
Yeah, not a question. I just wanted to put my understanding in some few words. After attending the classes in the Mandukya classes, so the only thing what we need to do in the meditation is always we need to identify ourselves as Turiya consciousness out of ignorance. I don't know when it happened. So I got my Karana, Sukshma and Sthula Sarira, and I am now journeying in this world. But again, by Mahapurusha Samsaya and through Paroksha Jnana, what I achieved from Shastras. So now, this is the Paroksha Jnana only. I need to affirm and reaffirm always that I am the Turiya consciousness alone. So through meditation, I always should affirm that. But again, by virtue of my samskaras, all the habits, the consciousness might slip down to the lower levels. But again, I need to reaffirm that I am the pure consciousness and elevate myself. And so I need to be there. So that should be the practice. So is my understanding correct?
Absolutely correct. Brilliant. What you have understood is excellent. It's a very good understanding of the scriptures. So keep in mind, this is the only way for understanding that I am ever free. That is, this mantra is saying, ultimately, what does this mantra say? I am always liberated. I am always consciousness, awareness, in which the body and mind is only appearances. Remember whatever I am telling you now. It's the same message you have to keep assimilating in your own mind. I am the pure Turiyam, body, and this Turiyam is always changeless. Always changeless means it is immortal. Body is mortal. Body may come, body was born. All the things I have heard about the body, yes, it is true. But only thing I didn't know is that it is mithya. It is an appearance. The moment it strikes you that the waking state is exactly momentary, it is exactly momentary like our dream state, you have crossed a lot of doubts in your mind. The moment you see today's waking state was there. Okay, what happened to the waking state? It disappeared. Again tomorrow morning, again you will experience. This waking state is a continuously changing state. It should strike you. Waking state is not it is a changing state. In between, I have got the sleep state. In between, I have got the dream state. So the three states are related. What doesn't change? This is the most brilliant revelation of Mandukya Upanishad. Turiya Atma is nirvikara svabhava. It never changes. Mind has got vikara. The body has got 6 vikaras. Asti, jayate, vardate, viparinyamate, vinashyati. All these are all for the body. The mind is also changing. What doesn't change is I, the consciousness, and don't ever make that consciousness as an object. Always, whenever the Upanishad is describing Atma, you should say, oh, this is my nature the Upanishad is trying to describe. It is my nature, which is Upanishad. Then what happens? You identify with that nature as your nature. That is the correct way to understand the scriptures. Good. Ramchandra, very good. Your thinking and pattern is correct.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Lalita is asking, can we say that a newborn baby remains in this Turiya Avastha till it is surrounded by Maya? Yes, you can say that, because Maya starts appearing in the baby the moment it is born, because hunger and thirst is there. That is the first step of Maya. The baby understands, I am hungry. As soon as it's born, that is the effect of Maya. Now, again, after some time, it will start operating its mind. Then it will start seeing the world. Slowly, it will start seeing the world. And then the operation of Maya is right from the beginning of the birth till the end. Maya is in and through this universe. But in and through this Maya universe, you should know I am always there. I, the consciousness, am always there. And there are two things about consciousness you should remember: immanent nature and transcendental nature. So, even to understand I am Atma, in some portions of your meditation, you should always remember what is that immanent feature of Atma. I am in and through the waking state, dream state, and the sleep state. I am transcendental. I am without the three states, I exist. What is the Shruti's example for this? Space. Space accommodates all the objects. At the same time, space exists by itself. But the difference between Atma and space is Jada. I am sentient. I know I am. What is the meaning of sentiency? This sentiency is what is lent to the sense organs, the eyes, the ears, and all that. They know the world. That knowingness is what is called as consciousness. That consciousness never dies. Whenever you see the word consciousness is there. And that you should say, and that is what makes you immortal. Okay, good. That's about from Lalita. Venkatesh is saying, can we say that there is no I, there is only awareness, and Brahman is nothing but awareness? Yes, you are right. There is only one I, which is the Aham. Aham Atma Gudakeshaha. Chapter 10, 20th verse, Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says, Paramatma says, Aham Atma. I alone appear as this Aham, the I in this body and mind. This I is independently existing. That is the name of Paramatma. Whereas the body and mind is dependently existing on this Aham. This ego is a reflection of that Aham, but it is a false entity. The Aham, the pure I, is the real I, which is the Turiya mind. Venkatesh, did you understand, or do you want to ask anything on this?
I understood. That was the way that I understood it, and I was just clarifying that or confirming.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Anybody else has anything on today's session?
So one
Nagendra?
sir, if I read this sloka, right, maybe I need to read this sloka as a Jivatma?
No. You cannot read the shloka as a jiva. You have to read the shloka as Turiya Atma.
Okay.
If you make the mistake of reading as a Jivatma, your mind will be totally confused.
Yeah.
Because it is full of opposites. It says there is no moksha, there is no liberation, there is no bondage. As a jiva, you are experiencing bondage, you are experiencing limitations. So read this shloka as Turiya Atma, as pure awareness. And then you say from that pure awareness, there is no moksha, because the world is non-existent. Yeah. What is the ultimate truth revealed by the Mandukya Upanishad? It is an appearance, but it is non-existent.
Okay.
Only an appearance. Exactly like the dream state. Dream state is non-existent, but it is an appearance. Waking state is non-existent, but it is an appearance. What is existent? Existent is consciousness. 3 periods of time it exists. The past also it existed, present also existed, in future also. When the body is gone, existence always is. You can never negate Satchit Ananda Atma. Never, never can you negate. You can negate the world, you can negate the body, but you can never negate the aham in you.
Okay.
Good. Thank you, Nagendran. Anybody else?
Shekharji, sorry, again a very stupid question, but chit and matter, body is made out of matter.
Yes.
And I understand what you're saying. I mean, that the sentiency comes from the chit,
Yes.
consciousness. So the relationship of consciousness with matter, how does that work?
Good question. Very good question. The relationship of chit and matter is exactly like the relationship of the space with the world. It is relationless. That means in and through all the objects you have space.
Sorry?
Without space, you cannot have objects.
Without space, you can't have objects. Yes, okay.
In and through all objects, there is space.
Yes.
That is what is called as the immanent nature of space.
Okay.
Now apply the same thing to chit. In and through all the inert world, there is chit as existence. In and through, like exactly like space, you cannot have a world without existence. Existence is the Sat principle. It is that consciousness has got 2 sides. Yeah. One is existence, another is consciousness.
Consciousness.
So the existence appears as this world. Now, the second thing we should understand is space can exist without the world. Without the objects, the space can exist. It is transcendental. Transcendental means it is beyond all the objects. Like the space can exist without all the objects, consciousness can exist without all the bodies. Bodies are existing in consciousness. All the objects are existing in space. Like all the bodies are, same way, all the bodies exist in me. That is what Mastani Sarva Bhutani. This 9th chapter, the 4th verse.
Mastani Sarva Bhutani. Yeah.
Mastani Sarva Bhutani means the immanent nature of this consciousness. The moment I understand this in my mind, Mastani Sarva Bhutani, I am the consciousness in all the bodies. I am always there. Like the space is there in all the objects, I am also there. Nacha Mastani Bhutani. I exist independently. The bodies are not in me. This is the apavada. The first one is adhyaropa, superimposition. The second one is negation. By doing this superimposition and negation, what you do is you're holding on to the substratum, which is Atma, which is what is revealed by the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Listen to it, keep listening. All these ideas will one day sink in so beautifully, and you will say, I am really fulfilled with the knowledge of the Upanishad, because it is only this knowledge which will give me complete fulfillment in life. You will feel I am blessed in life, and then you just say, okay, let me enjoy this beautiful world. Suppose I come to know, today I feel the world is really there. Suppose I come to know the world is a mithya, it is just a fleeting experience. Then I am free, right? I always live a free as a free person. That is what is called as a Jivan Mukti status of a Jnani. You absorb this knowledge, lead the world, and then live as a free person. Today you're not free. You're thinking, I am the body, I am the mind. That moment you're able to drop the body mind as me, then you become free. That is what is called as freedom. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, sir.
Yeah,
So
Varun.
what is the
Namaste,
body
Shukiji, if I
and freedom? How does this work, sir?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, how this body and freedom work, sir?
Body is?
Body and freedom, how this system work?
Oh,
According
body
to
is.
Bhagavad Gita, how this system
Correct.
works?
Yeah. You see, body is existing in mind. It is existing in this pure awareness. You have to first say, I am the awareness. As long as you keep on looking at body as I, then you will find it difficult to understand this freedom. The moment you understand I am awareness and then look at the body or the three states, waking state, dream state, these three states are coming and going, but I am the awareness, I am the consciousness, I am the Atma. That is what Atma here means in Bhagavad Gita. Atma means the same Turiya consciousness. It is a pure awareness principle. Keep telling yourself, I am the pure Atma. The body is an appearance. It comes and goes. And exactly like the dream. In the dream, also the dream whole universe is coming. In this case, you should say the waking universe is coming and going. Keep listening.
Thank you.
Keep listening to this Mandukya Upanishad. Keep listening. Slowly, you will try to your mind will get used to understanding the difference between awareness and the body. Is it clear, Varun?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Varun. Shanta, your question.
Yeah, so I was just trying to understand a little more, or thinking about this karika which we did today. So from the point of view of Turiam, when I see this universe, and as we say, life, birth and death is going on in this Mithya world, um, would it be considered, or it's almost, I don't know, where as waking we see, for example, a plant growing from a seed and then it dies. So from the Turiam point of view, also, these are just incidences which are going on in this Mithya world where it has got nothing to do with the Turiam. I'm just watching, I'm creating this, and all this is going on. But actually, there is nothing called life, and somebody is leading a life and going through the pain. But it's just mithya thing which it's just projected. I don't know how to describe it, but if I'm looking from the Turian point of view, that means these are just instances which are happening in that
That's
mithya
right.
world, which are
Yes,
not real.
correct.
So there is incidences. um, is that way, we
That's the
start
correct way
thinking
of
or looking at.
understanding. That's the correct way of understanding. Because, see, always remember, whenever you're trying to analyze the waking state of plant and anything to do with any anatma, you're uh, unconsciously you're looking at as if you're the deha. You are the body.
Body.
Okay, so the moment the waking state experiences of anything, it comes means you have fallen to the level of Deha Abhimana. I'm looking at the world as if I am the body. The moment you shift from the Deha Abhimana to the Mano Abhimana, that means you are no longer connected with the dream world. You're not imagining anything in your mind.
Mm.
The last one is the causal in the sleep state. So now you're saying there is no sleep state also for me because it was always ignorance. I don't look at it as a knowledge. And it was always ignorant state as a jiva.
Mm.
But now I'm not looking at myself as a jiva. I have woken up from my sleep of
Mm.
many births,
Mm.
which is called as Mula Vidya. I am now woken up to this Turiya Atma. In Turiya Atma, there is nothing. There is no waking, no dream, no sleep. There is no, in Kathopanishad, it says Ashariram.
Mm.
I have, as Atma, I have no connection with any of the bodies.
Mm.
They are all existing in me, and they go through their prarabdha karma. That is their fed. I am not connected with the bodies.
Mm.
That is my nature as Atma. That is the beauty of Upanishads. It describes to me a new revelation about myself. It is called I as Atma have no birth.
Mm.
I as Atma have no death. Therefore, I am ever free. So I can lead my life as ever free Atma, Nitya Mukta Atma. I'm very happy that you are able to grasp the meaning of this mantra. Your understanding is good, very good. Try to keep this understanding for a long
Because I'm trying
period.
to connect the 4, 9, 4. Yeah. Because
Yeah. From that Atma, I should say there is no jiva which is in bondage. This jivatvam is only a temporary, fleeting phenomena. That's all. I may be a scientist. I may be I may be a billionaire. I can. All this is only appearances. Drishyatva.
Mm.
It is
No,
mere appearance.
yeah, these are these temporary times where I start, seeing world from, say, thinking, okay, from the as a sakshi or a turiyam, viewpoint, this is all, mithya. And then you want to get back to the Maya world because the Maya grasps you and says, no, 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 no,
Yes.
no, you want to be in this world.
Correct. Again, you want to just look at your mobile or look at your computer, look at the world, look at the news, what's happening in the world. See, again, you come back to the Maya.
Yeah. And then the logic takes over.
Yes. You see, but doesn't matter. What you should know is the truth. Once you have understood the truth from the Veda, the world of Maya will stop persecuting you. You will enjoy Maya. Okay, ठीक है. Today I experienced this. Okay. You will start enjoying Maya. It is because you have understood it is a fleeting phenomena.
Mm.
It is not the reality. I am the reality. I am the consciousness. I, the Turiya Atma, am the reality.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
powerful mantra. This 30-second mantra, very, very powerful.
Mm.
In the entire Vedantic literature of so many Upanishads, I'm talking about all the 10 Upanishads. It's like the mantra of Najayate Mriyate Va Kadachit, like the 20th verse of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. It is a very, very powerful mantra because
Thank you.
here is where Gaudapada Acharya is trying to explain to us, please stand on Turiyam and then see the word.
Yeah, I think that was very, changing at that moment when you said, or when Gaudapada's explanation you gave, that you are not bound, or you're not in bondage, nor you need mukti because you're already a liberated. There is nothing of that sort.
Correct. See, this is a brilliant verse which says that my
And
nature
equally, if
is
you're Ajnani,
all.
you'll start chasing something which was quite,
Yes.
nature is,
This my nature
So
is
that was
Nitya
quite
Mukta
changing
status.
point,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Amazing verse. You keep reading the notes, keep remembering this. In the next 2-3 months, 6 months, keep remembering this. You will find a new derivations of this mantra coming to you, and you will feel your understanding of the Vedanta will completely change when you look at this mantra very carefully. Good. Thank you, Shanta.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If Are there any other questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, we'll stop today and then we'll continue. Next 2-3 weeks, we'll be doing the same mantra. I will try to do the same meditation of this mantra because it's got so many brilliant ideas in it. So let's see how it goes. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Shakaji.
Namaste. Shama. Namaste. Sumana, namaste.